Good evening, welcome to the Dugout. The Bangladesh saga doesn't seem to end. There are twists and turns, but not any twists and turn that can salvage the situation for Bangladesh. We'll try and explain why. I've already done a video explaining in detail. You can check that out, but we're going to debate as to what was Bangladesh thinking, what do they think can come out of it. Did they take a call in haste? Are they realizing it now? When, your other question will be, when are you going to know about Scotland? All of those things will be answered in this edition of the Dugout. But the day started with this news. At that, Bangladesh is going to the Disputes Committee, ICC's Dispute Committee. That was flashed all over. As soon as that was flashed, speculation started that maybe something might come out of it. Where did the news originate from? What did the news mean? You did your research about
the Disputes Resolution Committee,
which is now null and void.
It is null and void.
Refused you to carry that, but you can share it with our viewers.
Yeah, I mean, see, the Dispute Resolution Committee is like the arbitration when you have to look at it within the ICC. It looks into any kind of rule or any kind of thing. Supposing this voting, was it done within the framework of the rules? The Dispute Resolution Committee is the guardian of those rules when you have to look at it. But
Where did the news come from first?
It must have come from the Bangladesh Cricket Board, whoever is wanting to send it, we are going to go there. It has come from there only. So, that was the first step.
And apparently, they've gone also.
They have gone. And that is why I think there is a delay in the official announcement of the ICC.
No. There's no delay there.
Then
because of that. I'll tell you, because that is what I explained. Because that would happen if you send let's say you were sent a document for the Disputes Committee. Then according to you, delay will happen when I start going through that and then discussing and then coming up with a decision. That the delay will only happen there. But as I explained in detail, so I'm not going to get into the finer points, but overall, that this is a case of, for example, I am in Australia, hypothetically, and I have to travel to, I'm an Indian in Australia, and I have to travel to New Zealand, let's say. But I go to the airport, and at the airport they tell me you don't have a valid New Zealand visa. So we can't let you on the flight, you cannot go to New Zealand. I say, oh, okay. So I say this is a problem. So I go to the Australian embassy. Or the, in whichever city, saying, listen, your country is not allowing me to go to New Zealand. They'll say, what have we got to do? You should go to the New Zealand embassy, yes. They will fix the issue, give you a visa.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this case, you have gone to the appeals committee, but in Hindi as they say, sire se kharij kar denge wo. Which is, even before I entertain it, I will say, boss, you have come to the wrong place.
Yeah.
You needed to apply for a visa and you've come to a post office. For a visa, where will you go? To the visa office. Now, what is that? We have
consulate, embassy.
PSK.
No, this office, in Delhi where visa applications are.
Yeah, PSK.
No, what is it called? Yeah, Shivaji Nagar station they have.
Yeah. Passport Seva Kendra, PSK. It's called.
Nahi, yaar. Again, he's doing the same mistake. When you have to get your passport, you go to Passport Seva Kendra.
Visa.
When you have to get your visa, you don't go to Passport Seva.
VFS. VFS.
Harshit has done exactly what I am. To now, because he's done it, I will explain. If you need to get a visa, you will not go to Passport Seva Kendra.
You'll go to VFS.
Will I go there ki mujhe US ka visa de do?
Yeah.
They will say, what are you coming here? We give passport. US ka visa, go to the...
Harshit did a Bangladesh.
He did a Bangladesh. So we could not have come up with a more genuine example than what Harshit has.
There is no other thing riding on my mind than the PSK, because that's what I did for 3 hours yesterday. Day before.
There you go. So he...
4th of February is when I need to go to VFS.
Exactly. So that is the thing. So you have to go to VFS to get your visa. So just to explain in layman's term, terms, they have written and saying, please deal with our issue. But why ICC's dispute committee cannot deal with it? One, they cannot decide or overrule a decision taken by ICC only. So this is a decision taken by ICC. So BCCI cannot, Bangladesh cricket cannot go to the ICC's dispute committee. You go to ICC's dispute committee when, let's say, two countries are having a fight. Then you go to ICC dispute committee, please sort our fight. Or let's say you are having a fight with the broadcaster, there's some issue for an ICC tournament. You go to ICC, there is some dispute. Or you are having a fight with a sponsor is upset, an ICC sponsor is upset with the host board, then they can go to ICC. So for those things, ICC's dispute committee will come into place. Or even individual fight, let's say you have a problem against an umpire, you go to the dispute committee that we don't want this, you're like that. But this is a decision taken by ICC themselves, so the dispute committee cannot do that. The only time an ICC dispute committee can take a decision or can overrule ICC committee decision is when ICC has taken that decision unlawfully.
Yeah.
They have flouted the rules and arbitrarily taken a decision. Then as a member nation, I can go to ICC saying that, listen, this committee of yours have not followed rules.
Yeah.
And they have taken this decision, so I will look into it and say, no, why were rules not followed?
Yeah.
But in this case,
The
ICC
ICC
followed
board
the
was
rules.
there.
The ICC board sat. It was
Exactly,
a-
14:2. It happened in front of the board.
Correct.
Full members are there.
Yeah.
Lawfully within the rules.
So there
No
is
bylaws
recourse.
broken. Exactly, no bylaws broken. They were planning to explore some bylaws, I heard as well.
No, nothing.
But no
nothing.
bylaws,
That is-
exactly. No bylaws could have said Bangladesh.
Loopholes.
Exactly.
There were
No,
loopholes. So see,
everything
if you
happened
have-
within the legal
If
framework.
you have a loophole, then you mention that. They
Mention
don't
that,
have a
yeah. They
loophole.
don't have it,
What
yeah.
they said that please, we feel that we have been unfairly dealt with, deal with this. But they cannot entertain this. ICC's dispute committee cannot entertain it because on two different norms it does not qualify with, and then so at the start only they will give the application back at the Passport Seva Kendra. Please, Harshit, go to VFS and apply for your visa.
Yeah.
We cannot do. So that means, and that takes me to the next question. All options exhausted. Are we hearing the official word, Scotland coming out? What is the status?
Writing's been on the wall. We can read what's written on the wall. It's just for औपचारिक तौर पे things are left. Otherwise, we all know what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Even though Scotland 2 days back said that they haven't been told to be on standby, for all practical purposes, we know, and they can't really be saying that. The BBC did a report, and there were other platforms as well that carried that report saying Scotland say that they haven't received any intimation. Sure they have for a couple of days. It's just that they cannot be saying that because that just spills over things a lot more, and they've already spilled over so much. You're having to deal with Bangladesh right now. You're having to deal with ICC. BCCI has thankfully been the quiet entity. You don't want Scotland to come up and say something prematurely, and that's why those reports didn't gain a lot of credence. But they have been aware.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. Could be today, could be tomorrow. That I don't know about. But it's just a matter of time before we get to see. We knew yesterday that the final nail's already in the coffin. You're just waiting, and what do you do with the coffin once the final is there?
Then you're going to put mud over it.
Exactly. It's already there. It's buried. So you're just waiting to perform the final rites now.
See, only the mud is left to be put, the tombstone is left to be engraved. That's it. Curtains for Bangladesh. ICC press release, Scotland replaced Bangladesh.
So what I have picked up is that you will get the official word from the ICC later tonight or tomorrow. But within the next 24 hours, it could be any time in the next 24 hours, you will get an official release from the ICC confirming that Scotland has replaced Bangladesh.
Since 9 o'clock India time, we've had Indians who've been in charge of the BCCI, and I know a few Indians over there in ICC now who are responsible now.
It's 9:30.
Yeah, just
You
there
are
and
into that.
yeah, there and thereabout 9:30 window. Can we expect the same?
9:30 is an official time
Squad
for
announcement.
India releases.
Sometimes 11:30 also.
Yeah. But 9:30 became like this
Standard.
standard. Now last a lot of releases came at 9:30. So maybe tonight 9:30. If not tonight, then tomorrow.
They are working right today. Friday in the UAE is
Yeah, but 9:30 there will be 11.
now
I hope, but it's 9:30 India time. 9:30 there will be what?
11.
11 for us over here.
It'll be 11 o'clock. Possible.
Possible. Scotland is going to be
Officially in the T20 World Cup, and it brings an end to the sorry delusional saga that Bangladesh were living in. I'm sorry, there is no way to mention their stance from day one. How could you justify their stance? It's simple. How on earth can I relate, which is where it was quite well put by the ICC. A domestic T20 league had some kind of a problem with a player. How do you raise it to an ICC level? Made no sense. Security threats. I don't know what Bangladesh are thinking at this point in time. You're playing in Kolkata. 3 games in Kolkata. It should be the least of your concerns.
No, now though, Siddharth, I feel the onus is really on the Indian authorities as well. Let's not forget, in all of this, the onus very much remains on the security forces, the police, administration.
Now they're not coming Bangladesh. So what onus?
No, but to ensure that things really happen in a smooth manner overall.
But no other country had an issue.
Overall,
In India,
you
there's never
cannot
been an
afford.
issue.
See, there's been a lot of.
You had the greater enemy come even in 2023. There they had no problem.
Pakistan came and it
Yeah.
was not an issue. I don't think there is any onus, there's anything. But to the one point I disagree with Siddharth. See, I mean, you look at it from Bangladesh's point of view, and let's be honest. I don't think that from their point of view, what they were demanding was wrong. I'll give you an example. I agree with you that you cannot equate a T20 league with an ICC thing. But if, let's say, an Indian player, and again, I'm looking at it, I think that Bangladesh should have thought about it. They've shot themselves in the foot. They are going to pay a price for it. They should have been much wiser, which they were not. But I'm saying in terms of their national sentiment, people are still happy with the decision. They're not complaining. Why? Because they felt hurt that Mustafizur was removed. And I'll give an example. Let's say tomorrow, an Indian player was, let's say, removed unceremoniously or for whatever reason from an Australia league. It's not that India play in Big Bash, but hypothetically, if that was the case. Or England, there was some big league happening and an Indian player was removed. I'm sure we would have been up in arm. We would have said nothing doing with this. And if England were hosting a tournament, India may have very well said that we will not go and play. I remember when that Monkey Gate thing happened, and that was also an individual thing where there were charges against Harbhajan Singh. But the whole country took a stand that if you are going to prosecute him, we will leave this series and come back. So that was also an individual thing which India took it upon themselves as the national pride hurting. Same thing happened in the 2001 case where Mike Dennis took a call and as a match referee fined Indian players. But we said, boss, if you don't take that fine, we're stopping this tour, we're coming back. My point is that we also have a lot of national pride in India. And if an Indian player was removed unceremoniously, we would have also demanded certain things. I'm not saying this would have happened or BCCI would have done it. So I'm saying from Bangladesh's point of view, I don't think, it's very easy for us to say, why are they doing this? But if you look at it from their point of view, I don't see Bangladeshi fans complaining. Their cricket will suffer. They will suffer massive monetary losses. I don't think the Bangladesh Cricket Board wanted it. I don't think the Bangladesh players wanted it. Completely agree. But I'm saying from a nationalist point of view.
There was a problem in the 2001 incident. Yes.
No, I'm not getting into. So you're getting into the
nationalism where it went awry. I'll tell you why. Because the two things which many people don't speak about, the ICC had their way. The third test was deemed unofficial.
That's what.
And Virender Sehwag, the BCCI are adamant he is going to play Mohali, but England raised an issue.
No, but my point is, you got your way, and
in 2 cases we didn't.
Of course you did. Virender Sehwag.
No, but Sehwag couldn't play the first test against England. 2001 I'm talking about.
Yeah, but all the steps that he took against those players, those charges were taken back.
They were taken back, but then 2 other things happened. 2 bads also happened.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a question of getting into the nitty-gritties. You dug your heels in, no. Said, did you allow it to go through? No. And I'm not complaining about it.
Yeah.
You took it on your national pride. So I'm saying, if you look at it from Bangladesh's point of view, why will they not also have an issue with it? They can't bargain. They're not as big as India. They cannot get their way. I'm sure somewhere back of their head they knew that there is a 50-50 chance they may win this fight or lose this fight. But I think they were prepared for the worst case scenario. And that they will suffer, their cricket will go back, their major source of income will go. I don't know how they will survive. That's another issue. But at the moment they're stuck. That's one thing which I think, why. Secondly, I think Bangladesh could have made a better case for themselves if they themselves had clarity as to what they need to ask for and what is it that will cut the mustard with the ICC. I think Bangladesh confused the entire issue. They raised three issues. There is one issue about security, there is one issue about national pride, and there is one issue about Mustafizur, right? All of them somewhere related, but in their official communication, they spoke about, no, our national pride is important, it cannot be heard, nation above everyone else. In their communication, they mentioned, how can you do this with one player? As soon as you do it, I think you dilute your argument. Let's say, what did India do with Pakistan when they didn't want to go? They simply, you have to be very cold and pragmatic in your approach. You have to say, what did India say? India didn't say, boss, we are having Operation Sindoor, there's a past history of terrorism, this is national pride, so we won't come. Because ICC doesn't look at these things. These are your national affairs, you deal with it. ICC sees on the thing, okay, tournament, there's a threat. India only maintained one thing, our players are unsafe when they're traveling there. That's our stand. They cannot play. Focus straight. Bangladesh kept going in circles, everything, national pride, Mustafizur. Now ICC will say, national pride is your thing. No, we are not supposed to address that. Then Mustafizur, it's your thing, and IPL, no, which is BCCI. How are we to address that? If they had kept their focus that our players are not safe, then maybe something would have happened, even though I think there also they would have lost. I'm not saying they would have won, but I think that would have made for a stronger case and a more focused case for their point, because what ICC maintains that there is enough security for that. The one other thing that Bangladesh miscalculated, and they kept harping on that fact, I was listening to their journalist and Bangladesh, they kept saying, if you cannot give security for one player in Mustafizur, how can you give security for the rest of the team?
That was never the thing.
Yeah, no, because India never said we
that
can give
was
security
just
to Mustafizur.
hogwash.
No, because see, that's what they thought. India said we don't want Mustafizur.
India never said that we cannot have Mustafizur because of security reasons.
Exactly my point. But they perceived it
So
that
exactly,
way.
and that was very foolish. That was very foolish.
But yesterday I'm on a TV debate. There are two other Bangladeshi guests. They also kept harping about that you cannot give security to Mustafizur. I had to, but the thing is, see, they don't realize it. I had to remind them. But India never said we can't give Mustafizur security. India said in the current environment in our country, we cannot have a Bangladeshi player play the IPL. It's got nothing to do with security. It's not that they can't provide you security.
India never said that we will not be able to control if the tempers flare up. India never said that.
No.
India never said that
security.
Exactly. But India said this is just fundamentally against the environment. Political environment is too charged right now.
We don't paying 9 crore to a Bangladeshi player at a time where in their country there are attacks on the minority. That was the stance. There was never a security. But that's what I'm saying. They failed to register these things. Had they themselves had clarity as to what they want or what their demand is going to be, maybe they could have put up stronger case. I think therein, I think if the Bangladesh Cricket Board had just dealt with it, Bulbul, who's the president, he's their first centurion. I remember that first test match. He played versus India nonetheless, and he's worked 10 years in the ICC.
You know what people were also saying about him yesterday as he came and said those things? They said this was not the player and the administrator that people in Bangladesh resonate with.
Because he has to be towing the
exactly, because he was singing to someone else's tune.
Correct.
He wasn't being the man he had been as a player or as an administrator. He found himself in a bit of a kosh over there, and he succumbed to the political pressure, because everyone who attended that press conference said that it did not cut across as a figure that they had known for over all these years.
That's because, as I said,
and everything he said lacked that conviction.
He is well versed with the functioning of the ICC. He's worked there 10 years. He understands what is to be done. But because the government came in, and government had to pander to the public, and so that's why they got this national pride, Mustafizur, to pander to them. So then you go down to the ICC board says, boss, this is outside the realm of what we can deal with. What is your issue? Security? We have given enough security, and there is our own independent thing says it can be done, so they voted. So I think they also lacked clarity as to how to deal with this.
I feel there were two big missteps in all of this from Bangladesh cricket. The first big misstep was unable to prove your own argument. Their argument started with
What was their argument?
that's
Nobody
what
knew.
their argument
Kept changing.
Their
The
primary
goalpost kept changing.
the primary argument to begin with was security. Then it had the subplots of Mustafizur, national pride, so on and so forth. But the primary argument that they began with was security. Now, if I'm saying that I've got an issue, if I say I have a flat tire, I must have a flat tire to give proof of. Or if I'm going down to the mechanic, okay, I've got this flat tire, please fix this. I cannot be saying, okay, it's not really flat, actually, it's just it's wobbly. He'll say you decide what your problem is, right? Whether you've got a flat tire or whether the nuts are loose and you feel that the tire is wobbly. So they went there saying, okay, security. Where was the proof? They could never, when we were talking about the whole India-Pakistan fiasco.
Proof though is not, even India didn't give proof.
Yeah, but
at least they stuck to their guns.
Stuck to their guns.
They were focused.
Exactly.
Bangladesh
just lost the plot because you were never really able to prove, and this is where ICC was coming with proof. Okay, because this is not protocol. We don't just share with one nation, we share with every participating nation. Every team is informed about the security threat and what the security arrangement is like. So every team gets to know, and Bangladesh were also communicated that there is no real threat as far as the security arrangement is concerned. Everything's okay. So that's number one, where they miscalculated. I think the other big miscalculation, the other big misstep from them was their ask. Looking at the time frame, their ask should have been more pragmatic, more limited. If you wanted to, show in some sort of protest or whatever, remember that time where you had these reports come that, okay, India will be playing only in Lahore. India can do Lahore, come back to Amritsar, and that passage will...
India stuck.
Exactly.
They're not safe.
I'm just saying, if you wanted, you could have...
Then that's what I'm saying. Then you would have done a Bangladesh where you would have diluted your argument.
But...
So India knew that.
Exactly. So...
we are unsafe.
So Bangladesh needed to come up with... I'm not saying they should have come exactly with this sort of a suggestion.
No,
but
even that may not have worked. I'm not
their
saying
ask...
won.
Yes,
their
their
ask... At
ask...
least would have had a better chance.
If you are portraying nationalism and national pride above this, then you're not crossing over to India. I'm just saying your ask should have been more pragmatic. ठीक नहीं लगाया. उनको ठीक लगाना था. They didn't come up with a reasonable bargain. See, with limited time frame, you were talking about 4th of January was when this whole fiasco started.
Yeah.
That leaves you with 1 month and 4 days before the first match is played. If you're looking at an ICC tournament, if you're looking at venue change, if you're whatever ask you may have, you practically cut out the last 10 days, 2 weeks. This is not a Gali Mohalla ka this thing. So okay, there's a drain leak over here. Today we can't play in Surya Niketan. Let's come to Anand Vihar, play the match. No, so it's not like that, right?
ICC, I'm asking them exactly this. ICC, I'm asking them that, if the security threat was there, you should have known long ago. Why are you coming now? And then the clear cut obvious reason is that Mustafizur was removed, you're coming now. So me as ICC will also tell you that there's clearly not security threat. You are smarting from the fact that he was removed from a T20 league, and that's why you're coming to me. If security threat could have been like India did 2 months in advance versus Pakistan, we can't come.
See,
it had no other catalyst. There was no other incident basis which you did it.
Correct.
That's why Bangladesh tells you a month in advance.
See,
it's directly related to Mustafizur.
It is a pathetic attempt by Bangladesh, okay, to prove their case. There was no security threat in the first place, okay. The media, just to save their skin, the government, just to hide their blatant anti-India sentiments, are saying, oh, there is a security threat for the Bangladeshi players in the management.
The threat which wasn't conceivable enough before Mustafizur was removed.
Exactly. That time, 9.2, they were silent. Until 9.2 crores, they were silent. Only when Mustafizur was released, okay, we can't pick him.
Now there is a security
threat. There is a security threat. I mean, it is laughable. That is why I cannot accept and agree to anything what Bangladesh is saying. It's like, I am taking Pakistan seriously. Now Bangladesh are in the same category. So-called national pride. What national pride? Until 9.2 crores, your national pride was intact. And after that, national pride. It is a blatant thing that the Bangladesh government, the interim government have been doing. It is populism by using the sport, and Mustafizur was see, we are not going to the T20 World Cup. Now suffer. That is why it is a pathetic attempt by Bangladesh to hide their so-called anti-India intentions. Number one.
It's a lot of flawed patriotism, flawed jingoism, which is prevalent in so many parts of the world now.
That's why Bangladeshi journalists, you go to their timeline today, they are in serious meltdown, 8 out of 10 of them. And they are having pandering to this line, like, oh, how will they give security to all of them? Boss, there are 16 other teams, 20 other teams. Everybody is treated equally in an ICC event. It's not a BCCI sponsored event. Okay. So that is why Bangladesh at this point in time, let us make one thing clear. If you want to take them seriously, think about Pakistan. Those two entities, anywhere in the world, when you have to look at their opinions and you have to look at whatever is their so-called intentions, cannot be taken seriously.
Cut from the same cloth.
Of course, cut from the same cloth.
Quite literally.
Yes, 1971 was the schism that happened, but apparently they haven't learned. Some may call it insult. Oh, you can't compare us to East Pakistan.
Will Pakistan now pull out or not?
I hope it happens, but it won't happen. It can't. See, as you said, they had an escape route. Typical in their DNA, right, to have an escape route where there's a controversy. PCB never gave an official statement. So why on
That's
earth
a bit mean to be saying in DNA and all that.
escape route? I mean,
I know there's something extremely mean though.
It is extremely mean. No, I'm not hiding it away from the
Talk
fact.
about anybody's life. I don't know.
Look, it is Pakistan. Everything is valid.
You can
in
be
that.
critical, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but
administration wise also, look at it.
you can be critical. I'm
See.
not saying that. I'm saying, when you mention somebody's DNA, you're mentioning a race, people, that it's a racist sort of a slur.
I don't.
At least I see that way. But critical. For
escape
example,
route.
I may not like Trump, and I'm going to criticize him till I'm alive. But I can't be passing a.
I mean, see, there's nothing racial in this, okay?
Yeah.
PCB did not give any kind of statement.
That's fine. Factually, you're
Yeah,
absolutely
but
correct.
there is an escape route. The way that is there.
Also agreed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what you're saying.
So
factually.
it is
I'm saying
there.
a reference to somebody's DNA is.
I mean, it's if people want to make an issue out of it, they can very well be fully open to it without understanding the consequences. Okay, but what I'm saying it at this point in time, okay, we can. This thing can be, as what they say in the Lok Sabha Gazette and all of that. This is expunged. It can be
Comments
expunged.
get
For the
expunged.
sake of criticality. It can be
Sanctity.
expunged. Sanctity.
Sanity.
As I said, you're free to criticize
Yeah.
and highlight their flaws. Absolutely,
Yeah.
you have the full right to do it. But I mean, I'm saying there should never be anything to do with race, color, anything like that.
I mean, what I see is Pakistan didn't make any kind of official statement. They pushed.
No, that's fine. Absolutely, stick
So,
to that. Absolutely.
yeah, so they didn't make a statement, so they'll say, why did we ever say we were going to pull out of the T20 World Cup?
yeah, fair point.
They're gonna again. They say, "Oh, we never said anything like that. This is just the media. You question the media. Why are you coming to us?" Yeah, the friends in the media who ran that story, given confidence from the who's who of the PCB, well, they've got a relationship to work on then. But otherwise, it's typical hide and seek that the government and the media can play at times with each other.
Okay, quick comments we'll take before we wind up.
Yeah.
We've got Bangladesh government, good decision. BNPFDL, I think
course.
he's joining us from Bangladesh. But that's what I'm saying. This is also a reality. The people there on ground are not unhappy with this. They are taking it as a question of national pride, and that's their call to take.
Yeah.
As I said, if it had happened in India's case, and if one player would have been, maybe we as Indians would have said, no problem, World Cup, skip it. Though it would never happen in the cricketing universe. You can't have a World Cup without India.
Yeah.
Anshu Mishra says, Nick sir, yesterday was most memorable day in the lives of Steve Waugh, Abhishek and Maxwell, because as the best sports journalist, you No, yaar, come on. Anshu, you are being very kind. It was a great day for me to be speaking to Steve Waugh, because I'll tell you why, he rarely does media interactions. That's why. We get to hear from Abhishek, if not in sporting world, but at least in the Bollywood, we get to hear from him quite often. Maxwell also, we keep hearing from him, even on podcasts and YouTube and everywhere else. But Stephen Waugh is hardly ever seen.
We end up hearing his brother a lot more.
Yes, now.
Yeah, on commentary.
Yes. So,
Brutal jive at Babar Azam though. If Sydney Sixers have to win, you have to drop Babar Azam. And yes,
Okay.
they did win.
Mamun Allah Razi B says, it sounds like he's from Bangladesh. I
Yes.
have a
Okay.
feeling, but anyway,
But-
we'll take all comments. We're very fair in
Yeah.
that. He says 3 overeducated people are sitting over there. Did you know all this before you were born, or did you just become overeducated later? Later. Actually, when we were born, we were very naive. Then we went to schools, went to colleges, got some education. Also, our society encouraged critical thinking.
Yeah.
It allowed us to question, and our respected families gave us that. And that's why we became educated. I won't say overeducated, but educated.
Yeah, we were naive.
No, when we were born, we were naive. He
course
said,
we
were
were.
you as educated when you were born, or you became later? So just explaining to him what he wants to know.
Indeed.
Okay, I hope you've got your answer, Mr. Mamun, and thanks for your question.
Yeah, go down.
We've got...
It was the same.
No, keep... Okay, we've got Anurag saying... Okay, no, Ramesh Parthasarthi.
Yeah, not proper to compare what happened in a franchisee league to something that happens in an ICC series.
No, I gave an example, Ramesh, of a hypothetical example, if it had happened even in a franchise league to an Indian player otherwise. It's just that Indian players don't go, but if there was a case like that, a top Indian player, Mustafizur is one of their top cricketers. Let's say Jasprit Bumrah in that case. If he was without any reason dropped like a hot potato, for whatever reasons that they may have had valid reasons, so I wouldn't have taken it.
It became a very huge issue during the BGT when Jasprit Bumrah was called the MVP, and the MVP full form that Isa Gua had come up with. It became a huge thing.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that it wouldn't have become a big thing or something even bigger had this happened in hypothetically Jasprit Bumrah playing in the BBL or something, of course there would have been bigger calls made at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, it became a big issue when Chris Gayle tried that in the Big Bash League, remember?
Yeah.
Don't blush that.
Yeah.
That became a huge issue.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, but then...
Okay, we
happened.
take a final comment, and that is Anurag was saying, are you guys forgotten that the match has started? Definitely not. But this is also an important issue that needed our attention, so we address it. As there is another important issue that's happening in the Olympic sport level, where a story done by Indian Express today, quite a damning indictment of state of affairs in India, where they've said that there are lots of athletes that have written to the Athletes Commission at the IOC saying that, listen, we cannot be playing in India. Lots of them are writing because of pollution. So that's also in a story that we've covered. You check that out on Sports Today as well. And we know the match is on. And we will, of course, come back in the mid-innings post-match to discuss the match. We have a lot of, time to do that. But last comment on this subject that we're discussing on the dugout today, Prabir Roy Chaudhary.
The image crisis that India will face as the host nation due to Bangladesh's World Cup boycott is equivalent to a loss in billions of dollars. So ultimate loser is India.
Prabir makes a valid point here as well. That's why I said yesterday, there's nobody who's like a winner. Like, it's not an ideal scenario for anyone. I think the biggest loser is Bangladesh, as they will. But I'm saying even for ICC's point of view, would they have wanted to have a tournament without one of the teams playing? Ideal scenario? No. Would they want to let go of a big market, which is Bangladesh? May not be as big as India or whatever. There are 20 crore people who are crazy about cricket there as well. So you're going to have a tournament without it, and it will create some problems going forward as well. Anytime there is a fight, let's say, me and Siddharth get into a fight, on a given day I may have a lot of weapons, I may be strong, and I may win that fight, but I'm going to have teething problems with you going forward. That will always be the case. You will keep troubling me on it. So
Also,
nobody is like a winner as such.
But again, how on earth has Bangladesh gotten so much importance in the last...
It has got nothing to do with Bangladesh.
It has to do with the competition. It has to do with the competition. If a team's deciding to boycott,
any competition, even if at a FIFA
teams
level,
are equal.
In a FIFA level, no, you can't. At a FIFA level, Saudi Arabia may not be an Argentina, But if they pull out of a tournament, it becomes big news. You and I will cover it.
Yeah.
It'll be a major thing. It'll be, why is FIFA doing it? For whatever reason, right? There are going to be issues that you have to deal with. There can be smaller countries. Just because a country is much smaller than you, financially or cricketing wise, can you just...
Because see, you have put Bangladesh on the fringes of the ICC. Where you give them importance for any test series? They don't play a 3-test or a 4-test
So
series.
that's a different thing altogether.
True.
And in an ICC event, okay, they have had only 2 major ICC events where they have prospered 3 major.
All of that is fine, but no one's arguing with you in that. They are not a cricketing powerhouse is established. You don't need to establish that. But does that mean if someone is not, you need to keep, I'm saying, you work in a work organization. Everyone has a different hierarchy. Does that give you the right that, there'll be certain rules for you? You will get the comfort. You will be made to sit in winters inside. And the other guy who may be lower down than you, he's okay standing out just because he's not as big as you? Doesn't mean. You may be 15 years experience and maybe senior. Does that mean that the other person can be kept out in the cold? No. Yes, if he's done something wrong, you have to deal with it and you have to do it. But I'm saying the reason cannot be, he's just 3 years into his job, he deserves that. Go and stand outside. No, that's not a fair way of looking at things.
Because it is like raising an issue like Cape Verde is pulling out and we are like crying over it in a FIFA World Cup.
No,
It should be.
Cape Verde may be the smallest
if
nation.
Cape Verde has qualified for the FIFA World Cup, they need to be discussed if they're out.
They may be the smallest nation to qualify in terms of population size. But that doesn't mean that the FIFA can do something unfair to them. They have to be treated equally in a tournament.
According to you, then anything, let's say, there could be one small community in a country, some tribals who may make just a small population in the country, we don't even have that kind of money. So their problem should not be discussed. Why are we discussing? There are just minus 2% of here. They don't even contribute to our GDP that much. Whatever. Forget them. If they're dying, let them be. We will only talk about, certain classes who make money. No, that's fair. If you're looking at a country, then everyone is part of your country and everyone needs to be paid attention to. Doesn't matter if they're small, if they're financially not as big as you. Similarly, cricketing universe or FIFA or IOC or whatever, does not matter how big you are as a country and how you're going to be treated like that. I'd give an example. Hypothetically, India has nobody in the world of football, okay? But if tomorrow, by the grace of God, India qualifies for the FIFA World Cup, okay, people might laugh, for the men's team may not happen. The women's team has a chance, maybe an outside chance, 5% chance. In that 5% chance, they qualify. Okay, they qualify, they're going there. There may be some issue, some minor issue that India may have, and they kick India out. Will I say, sitting here, it's okay, we are nothing in the footballing world, we need to be kicked out, it's okay, they kicked us out. Yeah, but if we were Argentina, they'd better not do it. If we were Spain, they better not do it. No, if we've qualified. Yes, we may be a small nation in football, nobody knows about it, but if those girls have worked hard, won their qualification and done it, if they reach there, they need to be treated like everyone else.
Sure, if they are hard done by, but they are not hard done by.
Yes, that I agree. But I'm saying no, but your argument was
small
why is it a
nation,
big deal?
Because
Bangladesh to bahar hua hai.
No, because at the end of the day, India is the ultimate loser. Okay, to a certain extent, they are getting the collateral
Now I
damage.
know why your political views are why they are.
I don't see again. I will say one more thing about this. Okay, if indeed ICC had not held the board meeting and had kicked Bangladesh out, okay, full sympathies then. Yes, Bangladesh shouldn't have been kicked.
No, but it's not
You were not saying that a short while ago, Siddharth. You were saying,
Yeah.
They are not a team. How does it make a difference? Out to out.
Yes, because it is of their own doing.
Agreed. I'm not denying. We've
That's
established
two
that.
different
You
ways
didn't
of saying
say
that.
Now
Now only I have to say
Bangladesh
didn't come.
Bangladesh being booted out because of what they did is
and who they are.
exactly two different things.
Who they are, because look what has happened to them. What have they done? to
No,
themselves?
that's fine.
That's
It is that broader
in
backdrop
this
that
in this
happens.
competition, there are teams that are ranked between 1 and 20.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There are, so it's not like this is just an exclusive competition for teams
I
ranked
mean,
in the top
again,
5.
I mean, again,
It's
to
not
compare,
that.
to compare football and
No, cricket only I'm saying. There's a
But
Namibia
even
as well,
ranking-
Siddharth. There's a Namibia playing in this tournament.
of course.
There's a US playing in this tournament.
Even if a US had been chucked out, it needed to be debated whether they are chucked out fairly or unfairly is a different debate, which we would have.
But talking
I
about-
cannot justify them going kicked out. See, any
our associate nation, exactly.
Let them be out. Who
Okay,
cares?
you cannot have that stance.
How much did we devote airtime to when USA got kicked out? The USA Cricket Board was suspended.
No, that is because again
We did
third
that
party
story, by the way.
influence, of course.
We did that story, by
But
the way.
we didn't cry tears of blood
Arre,
for that.
because
it's a
we are.
different thing. No, you are have an issue. For example, it's happened in India as well. Our own boxing federation has gotten suspended. And all.
Yeah.
We've covered it that way. Nobody has ever blamed IOC or any other body for that. We ourselves have blamed that federation because they shot themselves in the foot. In the US's case, how can you blame ICC or anybody else? It was their fault that they did that. So that's why that story is very different to
We
this.
are not here for activism anyway, Siddharth. We are here to report if the ICC is taking over, if there are corrupt activities happening there, if they're not holding proper elections, that's a job for you and me to report. End of story. Now, if you're asking me to do follow-ups, one month later, what has happened to the US cricket, where is the US Cricket Association? I'm not doing all of that.
I'll add Nepal, Zimbabwe. The thing is, because Bangladesh are a full member nation, that is why this whole thing is that we are arguing the merits and the demerits of it. But they bought it upon themselves.
No, that nobody is
Exactly. That is my only major way when I have to look at it. That is the only locus standi that I have on this whole thing. That they bought it upon themselves. So all this misplaced sympathy and all of that for Bangladesh should not happen.
Anyway, a quick update on the score. 45 for 2 it
There's
is.
a comment by Steve Ticolo first. He says, Nikhil sir, please get the frame fixed. It looks cropped. I completely take your point, Steve Ticolo. We encountered a technical difficulty at the start of the program. So this is a last minute thing that we had to do. But point taken, completely taken. We'll work on getting that fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, freaking awesome is saying might as well continue Nixa better because in little while the mid innings will happen.
Yeah,
No, thank you. It's a valuable suggestion. I will take that. But no, we're going to end our discussion here.
Yep.
We're going to be back in the mid innings. Then we'll talk about the match. There were a few changes into the 11 as well. Akshar was injured.
Bumrah is
Harshit has
rested.
come in. Bumrah is resting. So Kuldeep has come in. So plenty to talk about. We'll see you mid innings. Okay.
See you.
For the moment.
Nandri will happen now. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock now.
And we'll be live as and when the official announcement.
So no Nandri yet.
No, not yet. Yeah.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tap that bell.